Hey, you all, and good afternoon. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the West. More specifically, we're in Los Angeles, California, and I almost did not make a video today. I had a hard time getting out of bed, hard time getting rolling today. Almost felt like, you know what, I'm gonna sit in the bed and be sad today, but yeah, after yesterday was very emotionally exhausting, and yeah, I just thought about just laying there in bed. But you know, I know Adam would want me to keep going, to keep rolling along, and to not stop. Adam kept going, never stopped to lay in bed all day, and so I decided to get out, and I have come over here to the Brea tar pits. Man, it's stinky over here. It smells like tar. It's pits 3 and 4. In a way, you know, these tar pits are symbolic, you know, to the way I'm feeling. These pits trapped animals long ago. You can see here on the side the giant sloth, the wolves being trapped. Death for meat eaters, it says, as they were trapped in these pits. Looks like there's some dire wolves down in the tar. And you know, I think it's, like I said, I think it's symbolic, the tar pits, of how I'm feeling. It's, you know, animals, dire wolves get stuck in the tar. And you know, once you get stuck in the tar, your history, you're part of the fossil record. You know, we're fascinated with these animals, these ice age animals. But we think about what they went through. They gave up. They stayed stuck in the tar, and they became history. They became extinct. And well, the thing is, you can't be stuck. You can't be stuck in the muck. You can't be stuck in the tar that weighs you down and holds you in place, where you wallow in your own sadness. You gotta struggle free from the tar. Of course, you know, sometimes struggling just makes it worse. But you can't let the tar pull you down. You can't let the tar hold you in place. You gotta break free from that tar and move forward in life, and find new adventures and new experiences and new things to fill you with that childlike wonder. Hey, Mr. Bear. Why the short face? It says, please do not wade in the stream. Yeah, it's probably full of tar. And over here to Pit 91. What's going on? This looks like a special pit. They've built a whole building around it. Oh, it talks about some of the animals they've found here in this pit. 73 saber-toothed cats, 56 dire wolves, 16 coyotes, 12 ancient bison, 13 horses, 6 Harlan's ground sloths, 6 jaguars, 4 short-faced bears, 4 yesterday's camels. Oh, so used to today's camels. And 1 American mastodon. Let's observe, look down in the pit. And yeah, you can actually look down there and you can see just bones sticking out there that they're very carefully removing piece by piece from this tar pit. Of course, the technical name for this is treacherous goo. First time I came out to California, I made a list of things I wanted to see. You know, wrote them all down on a piece of notebook paper with a pen, and still do that when I'm making lists. I use paper and pen with my near indecipherable handwriting that only I can understand. And I made a list of things I wanted to see. And one of them was the Brea tar pits. And Adam went out here. It was just one of those things, one of those touristy things you hear about that, you know, one of those big tourist spots that I love, always love checking out. You always hear that being a tourist spot, people going to the La Brea tar pit. Actually wanted to walk over there to those giant land sloths, but apparently they're filming something here in at the pits today. They said heard someone say it was a commercial of some sort. I don't know what it's a commercial for, but yes, you never know. You never know in Los Angeles when you might stumble. You might stumble on on some sort of filming.
Jose, you ready? And camera, and action.
I see that woman with the baby carriage. She's an actor. She's a background actor. So, yeah, you see there's someone with a soccer ball talking, all acting natural. These are all background actors. They look just like people hanging out in the park. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I started walking over here. It just looked like a bunch of people hanging out in the park. And I saw a guy walking backwards. And I thought that was a little confusing. Yeah, you see these people while the sloths... Oh, they call cuts, so they're walking back over here. So interesting. Yeah, it just looked like nothing was going on over there. I saw there was some equipment, but then there was just like a bunch of people doing park things. And but they were actors. They were actors pretending to do park things here at a real park. But there's also non-actors around doing park things. So it's like a mystery. Who's real and who's an extra?
Rolling.
Oh, here's another take. You see the lady over there with her stroller that has no baby in it.
And action.
There she goes. There's the people with the soccer ball having a natural conversation. So funny. Weird seeing fake reality out here in a real place. It looks like they're having a birthday party or something over here. But I don't even know. Who even knows? Who even knows if this is a real party or if this is part of the commercial? Who knows what's real and what's not out here? Here's the lake pit. I think this is kind of the most iconic spot here at the La Brea tar pits. You see the mammoths here. Very sad scene. Very dramatic scene. You can see one of the mammoths there, stuck in the tar. A goner. There's no getting out once you're that deep. Just like the never-ending story where our tracks get stuck in the muck. You know, once you've given up, the muck will just hold on to you. Now, what a traumatic scene. See the mammoths, husband or wife there, watching them get sucked down into the pit. You can see the baby mammoth there calling out for its parent. Oh, did you guys see that? There was just like a big giant gas bubble just came up from the tar, or the decomposing material. Yeah, see all over the tar pit, you can see stuff bubbling up. Wow. Nature's a scary thing. I like this here. It shows the mammoths being installed in 1968. Driving the mammoths here in the back of an old-timey car. And it looks like at one point there may not have been this fence that you can just walk up to the tar. I think we can get a little bit of a closer look from this walkway over here. I got a good look at those iconic mammoths. And now let's head into the La Brea Tar Pits Museum, also known as LA's Museum of Ooey Gooey. You hear the statue of the saber-toothed cats locked in battle. I like the reproductions of these ice-aged animals. This is this American scimitar tooth cat. Let's look at those teeth. Yeah, I sometimes, you know, when I'm just playing with my cats or petting them on the couch, sometimes they like get a little rowdy and they'll sink their teeth into me or nip me a little bit. You do not want to be nipped by that. It's a giant ice-aged bear. Oh my gosh, you can feel its skull right here. They put the skull there so you can feel. That may be the tallest bear I've ever seen. They said these bears here, these giant bears, can get up to 12 feet tall. Look at that. You see this giant sloth here struggling with one of the cats. And what a lot of people that walk by here probably don't realize is that this was an animatronic. Remember the first time I was here, you can actually see some of the cords back there. So yeah, 10 years ago when I was here, they actually fought each other. Like the sloth struggled, the cat was on its back, biting it. It was really a sight to behold. There is a mammoth tusk retrieved from the tar pits. I said that the rest of the mammoth could possibly be found in the fossil lab here. You can see them working hard on preparing the fossils. I guess that probably the first step is just to get all the tar off. I bet that is a nightmare in and of itself. It's a very meticulous work there. So they work with the delicate tools, cleaning and preparing these fossils. And I guess that is the mammoth's head right there, the one we just saw the tusks. You can see its head right there. Yeah, fascinating to me. You can see the gentleman over there holding the skull, little skull, getting it cleaned. I said the mammoth here is named Zed. That's Zed's head. We saw Zed's teeth, and it shows all the blue parts are all parts of a skeleton they found. So most the mammoth. By the way, I don't know how they do it here. I could never do such delicate work while people were staring at me. Some other bones here pulled from the tar, and they look a little different than other bones that you'll see in other museums. You can definitely see how they're kind of have that stained black color from being in the tar for thousands upon thousands of years. There's the California saber-tooth, the antique bison. This is the extinct western horse there. That little one is the dire wolf. It's a saber-toothed cat skeleton. This is the skull wall. These are dire wolf skulls. Every single one of those is a dire wolf skull found in the pits. There you get a glimpse of what the dire wolf would have looked like. Some full skeletons. There's some tar birds. It's a giant condor, a grinnell eagle. This is an ancestral California condor. And this is the Colombian mammoth, the ones that we saw outside in the pit. And you can see up there, it got a little bit of fluff there on its head and back. It's not fully, it's not a woolly mammoth, not completely covered in fur, but it's got a little bit of fluff. This is the Shasta ground sloth. And I have a particular fondness for sloths. This is a pygmy mammoth. It says that they actually lived here on islands off the coast of California. I guess they were kind of isolated on those islands. They didn't grow as big. And here's a simulator that tells us what it's like to be trapped in tar. And you get, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, it's hard. Hard to pull yourself up. Look at this. One's completely submerged. See? Getting out of the muck, getting out of the tar. Not an easy task, but if you want to move on, with life, you gotta just pull and keep fighting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Oh, good. I got out of the tar. Whew. Here's one of my favorite sloths, Harlan's ground sloth. That just massive creature. There's an atrium in the building. Middle of the building's like completely opened. There's just a nice little area to walk around in here. Technically, we're outside. There's scaffolding up there, but no roof. And it doesn't seem like there's any tar in here either. I don't smell the tar. Got some flowers, which I don't believe are petunias. Yeah, just a little bit of water in here. No river of tar. But let's get us some La Brea tar pit pennies. Of course, you don't want to throw pennies in the tar. That would interfere with future paleontological digs. You got the different animals here, preserved in the tar. And 8 new tar pennies for the collection. Now, 10 years ago, when I visited this gift shop, I bought one of my favorite shirts that I owned. It was a California flag with a saber-toothed cat on it, and they actually do have that design on the coffee mugs. They do not, I believe, have it on a shirt anymore. I would love if I could get my shirt back. It's one of those shirts that I love so much that I just wore it out, and I've been looking to replace it ever since. There's actually a little lookout here up on top of the museum. Yeah, up here we can actually look down into the atrium that we went through in the center of the museum. Look down at the mammoths in the pit. I think we're going to go check out something else nearby. We're a couple miles down the road over here to Slasher World, which is a slasher-themed shop here in Los Angeles. And the reason I've been wanting to come out here is it is also the home of Slashback Video. Now, this is kind of a pop-up museum that has popped up a couple times in the area. It is a collection of vintage horror movies, vintage VHS horror movies. They've had a couple pop-ups at different locations, but it looks like they're now at Slasher World. So let's head in and check this out. And look at this. Greeting us into Slasher World is the new king of slashers. It is Art the Clown, the massive head of Art the Clown with his trademark sunflower glasses. Okay, this is pretty fun. Different parts of the store are themed after different horror movies. Of course, Mr. Michael Myers here in front of the Halloween house with his iconic William Shatner mask. Oh, look at that. He's got a little bit of blood there on his hand. He's been up to some questionable activities. Some pretty cool stuff here. We've got Universal Monsters Tarot deck. That is pretty cool. And look at this, like, it's Frankenstein. A different Art the Clown purses there. Oh my, there's bloody art and happy art. Sometimes art's both bloody and happy. The giant glove of Freddy Krueger over here sticking out of the wall. Oh, down here, the saw from Terrifier, in case you need to hang someone upside down and cut them in half while they are naked. Some Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. Oops. You can see the severed head of Art smiling at us there. Oh, Art, you're so evil, yet so whimsical. And here we have the Elm Street house, of course. Freddy Krueger, the nightmare demon here with his famous knife fingers. He's not my favorite. He creeps me out. I don't like what he does to children. I think that's taking it to another level. Oh, and over here we have a massacre occurring, not a regular massacre, but a Texas chainsaw massacre. There's some of Leatherface's taxidermy. Looks like he likes weasels. And here is the Scream 7 kitchen. I know there was a kitchen in Scream 1 where you can pick up the telephone there, the old-timey telephone, and then this guy will give you a quiz, and if you do not pass his questions about scary movies, he will murder you. I've definitely not seen Scream 7. I think I've only seen the first one. Yeah, the screaming knives there. And the thing about Ghostface is I think he's not just one person. He's whoever wants to be Ghostface. So, all of you out there, just want to let you know, any one of you could be a Ghostface if you really put your mind to it. There's the Candyman looking in the mirror. I think the Candyman has kind of the same basic rules as Bloody Mary. He's a much more terrifying version of Bloody Mary. Actually, I don't know. Who do you guys think is more terrifying, Candyman or Bloody Mary? They both have the same rules. You look in the mirror, you say their names, and then they murder you. Such an easy death to avoid. Okay, and we're headed to the back. We're going to check out Slashback Video. This is an add-on. The photo ops you just saw are actually free. They're part of the store. This costs an extra $13 to head back into the back where they have Slashback Video. Oh, this is a foreign language poster for a Nightmare on Elm Street film. I don't know which one this is. I don't know what language that is either. And just look at this. It's like a full 80s video store here. Although it looks like it's 100% horror. Oh my goodness. Man, when I was a kid, I was terrified. Not only was I terrified of scary movies, I was terrified of the covers. I feel like that there wasn't like a horror movie section. I feel like it was kind of mixed in, at least at my local video store. So I'd always be like terrified. I'd always look at things. You'd look at a movie and you're like, something's terrifying is going on in that movie. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any of the horror movies. But I remember I would remember them in my head, and I would try to remember where they were in the store so I wouldn't have to walk past them. I just remember some of them just haunted me. I would see a horror movie cover, then later at night I would have trouble sleeping. I was a very nervous, anxious child. So sometimes that trip to the video store was a little intense for me. And they said you're actually allowed to switch the movie that's playing in here right now. Yep, this is the original Scream. They got this vintage television here. Let's see. I still remember how to work this. Stop. Oh, and eject. There we go. So this kid is called a VHS, and guess what? You have to rewind these, especially if you take them back to a video store. They'll charge you extra money if it's not rewound. Fortunately, they have a video rewinder. Now, that will rewind it by itself. You can put it back in there and hit rewind, and it'll rewind it. But this will do it faster. And I think they said these will keep your VCR from wearing out. So let's put that in there. Oh, you can feel it working, yeah. That's turning those wheels and rewinding the tape. Leave a comment in the comments section if you've never seen one of these before. I'm just curious how much of my audience is young enough where they never had to deal with that. But we can wait. We can sit and wait for this to rewind. We can actually watch a different movie. In the meantime, we can go ahead. There's Elvira. There's what's this? It Follows. Jaws 2. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Here's what we're going with. Basket Case 3, The Progeny. I remember seeing the original Basket Case when I was a kid, and oh my gosh, it scared the living crap out of me. I was too young to see it, and it scared the living crap out of me. Let's put this in. It looks like the last person didn't rewind this, so we have to start. We may be starting in the middle. Let's see. Let's hit play. Play. See where we are in the movie. Oh, there we go. We're starting somewhere in the middle.
I know you're in there. I just want to say I'm
Talking to Belial.
for everything. I swear.
The movie's about these two twin brothers, or at least the original Basket Case is about two twin brothers. They got separated, and one's a normal person, and one's a murderous lump of flesh. So here's the counter. You would, someone would be sitting here, ring you up. Again, I don't know how many people watching this. I know a lot of people here watching this know how a video store works, but yeah, you walk around. Sometimes you walk around for hours. Walk around for hours at a time. You pick out your movie or multiple movies. You bring it up here, and then you pay money, and then you can take it home for a day or two. And then if you don't bring it back, they're going to charge you a lot more. So you got to watch out for those rental fees. Again, they'll charge you if it's not rewound, and they will charge you if you do not bring it back on time. And you can actually go to jail if you just never brought it back. Yeah, I have a complicated relationship with scary movies, like I was talking about. So my mom's second husband, so not my dad, not my stepdad that just passed. My mom had a second husband, and when they were married, a lot of time my mom would work evenings at the hospital. She was a nurse, and my stepdad loved horror movies, and I know like a lot of people I think do have like positive memories, even though they're too young to watch horror movies. They kind of grew up on them. I was really scared of horror movies. Just the very idea. I had a lot of nightmares as a kid. I was really nervous, really scared kid, and my stepdad at the time, he liked horror movies, and he would watch them all the time. He would just constantly have horror movies playing. I don't know if he had a lot of understanding on like maybe just how afraid I was. Because sometimes I get brave enough where I would come out and ask him questions, and then I would have nightmares because all these things scared me. I remember the ones that I'm looking to see if I could see them, but like the movies that like scared the bonkers out of me. I remember Poltergeist. Poltergeist would be very close to the top. Oh my gosh, Poltergeist. And then I remember because I knew who Jason was. I'm trying to say, yeah, Friday the 13th. I knew who Jason was in Friday the 13th, but I remember that I was watching a different movie, and it was a guy in a mask that wasn't Jason. It was just like, where is he? It was just a mask that looked like a person, but it was all white. I'm like, wait, that's not Jason. I'm like, that's actually possibly even scarier than Jason. That was Michael Myers. And I'm like, who's that guy? He's like, oh, that's Michael Myers. I'm like, oh, well, he seems scary. So a lot of, yeah, I just don't know if he understood like how terrified I was and that I was having nightmares. All these movies, and that's why I saw I would go to the, if I go to the video store and there'd be something scary on it. Oh my gosh, it would. It wasn't until I was an adult that I really got into horror movies. A lot of it was, Adam was a huge fan of horror movies, and he turned me on to movies. He loved Friday the 13th. He loved Halloween. He loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Here's the guy I was looking for, Michael Myers. Remember I saw him, I'm like, that's not Jason. Because Jason was like more pop culture back then in the 80s. He was more popular. So, you know, everyone knew that Jason was a guy in a hockey mask who killed people. Even if you'd never seen a movie, you knew who Jason was. But I remember coming in and seeing this guy instead. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not Jason. He doesn't have a hockey mask. He has just a person mask. But I'm like, well, that's almost scarier for some reason. The fact that he just looks like a person but not. I think he has, definitely some uncanny valley with Michael Myers and his general look. The Halloween movies would go on. I do think that this is, to me, like the original Halloween, this is a masterpiece. I love it. When I went back as an adult and started watching horror movies, I watched this and I was like, that's a masterpiece. It's so subtle. It's not a bunch of blood and gore. I wasn't really that into like bloody, gory things. But I just liked it. There's barely any blood. It's all subtle. They use shadows. There's like a scene where Michael Myers comes out of the shadows with his creepy white face, and it's just stunning. So I think that's a masterpiece. And again, it was Adam kind of talked to me about these movies that made me fascinated. I was still like fascinated as a kid, seeing them and never having watched them. Never really knew what they were really about. Oh my gosh, I actually remember my stepdad watching Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which now I realize is completely a comedy. But at the time, I seriously thought this was a scary movie. And the funny thing is, I could never really get into Jason as much. Friday the 13th. I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't think it was as good of a movie. There's don't have the subtlety of Halloween. It's more, just about brutal kills. I think about brutal kills. I actually started watching this YouTube channel. It's a really popular channel. It's called Dead Meat. They do a show called Kill Count, and they just basically do they talk about the plot of the movie, and they talk about some of the background and getting made, and then at the end they tally up all the kills. I don't know. I just found it recently. I think it's a really good YouTube channel, especially if you're just trying to learn about horror movies. I remember this is my dad, my actual dad. I remember he always talked about these. I think these were one of his favorite horror movies. He didn't really like horror movies, but he would always talk about Phantasm, and now the ball that you threw would drill into your head. Now here's one that did definitely scared me as a kid. I specifically remember this, seeing the little monster come out of the toilet. Ghoulies. I never wanted to see this. It scared me so much. I thought of a monster coming out of the toilet. It was a really, really terrifying proposal. I watched these as an adult. These movies are wacko insane. The first Ghoulies isn't even really about the Ghoulies. It's about this occult guy. Ghoulies 3 is suddenly the Ghoulies can talk and they're going to college. Ghoulies 2 is my favorite, and they don't have it. Dang it. You always hate when you go to a video store and you're trying to find that one movie you want to watch, and they have Ghoulies 1 and Ghoulies 3, but not Ghoulies 2. Ghoulies 2 is the best one. We're so spoiled today, where we have literally, I could go pull up my phone and pay, if not for free, with one of my streaming services, I can watch any one of these. If they're not on the streaming services, I could probably pay $4 to watch them right now. Go watch them out front of the store right now. But back then, you couldn't just get movies that easy. You had to go to the store, the whole process, showing up at the store, buying renting the video and making sure it comes back. It was a big process and a commitment. You had to, not only did you make a trip once, you had to make it twice to bring it back. And you just had whatever they had as a selection. There was no guarantee they were going to have the movie that you actually wanted to see. Of course, Jaws was an excellent movie that you'd want to see. But yeah, it wasn't so, and I don't know, I feel like with this, we have access to all these movies now on our phone, which is amazing. But at the same time, I feel like you watch a movie now, you don't appreciate it. Watching a movie was an ordeal. It was an event back then. By the way, when I was a kid, I was not afraid of Jaws. I thought it was boring because I told my mom, the shark, you never see the shark. I was just waiting for the shark. And as an adult, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But I literally bored the crap out of me as a kid. It's really funny, like what scares you and what not when you're a kid. This puppet in a toilet gave me nightmares. But this shark that exists in the real world that can really eat you, like, I was like, whatever. What? They have Troll? They have Troll, but not Troll 2. You got Troll 2 is the one you wanna go with. I love this movie. This was one of my favorites as a kid. Ernest Scared Stupid. I thought this movie just had everything. It was amazing. I thought Ernest was funny. I love the trolls in the movie. Yeah, honestly, the trolls. There are trolls in Ernest Scared Stupid. They're the bad guys, and yeah, man, it. I don't know. I don't know if it holds up, but as a kid, I watched it just at the perfect age where I loved every second of it. Oh my god, this is a VHS of Tales from the Crypt. You cannot find these anywhere. There's some sort of weird rights dispute where you cannot find, like, stream. It doesn't stream anywhere. So if you want to watch it, you have to find, like, I don't even know if it's on DVD. We have to find the old VHS tapes like this. The Blair Witch Project. I remember when this came out, it was all people were talking about. People were telling me it was the scariest movie they'd ever seen. And then my dad called me and told me that it was the worst movie he'd ever seen and don't bother seeing it. He said, the witch isn't even in it. Now here's a movie I saw as a young child that I definitely should not have been allowed to see. There's my favorite of all time, Gremlins. I almost don't consider it a horror movie, but I guess it is. This is who my kids were most afraid of. I remember my son was just fascinated by it. Like, just was obsessed with it. Like, he was totally scared of it, but he was obsessed with it, wanted to see it. My son loved watching horror movies, but then he would have nightmares when he got a hold of them. He would go off to other family members and watch them, what movies that we wouldn't have let him watch. And I remember there was one night at dinner, my daughter Anna just looked up from her food and said, "Who is it? What is it?" And my son turns to her and just matter-of-factly says, it's a clown that lives in the sewer and eats children. And my daughter, like, did not go to sleep that night. Like, that was not the answer that she wanted to hear. Like, just that one sentence that is actually an accurate description, it mortified her to her core. And look what they have here, this arcade machine. It's Splatterhouse. This was the thing of legends. I think this game came out for TurboGrafx 13, if I remember correctly. And I remember me and my friends talking about it like it was this illicit game, because it was, at the time, like one of the most violent games that had ever come out. I don't know if it's playable, but you had a character that was basically just Jason. Basically played as Jason, and you punched things and they exploded, you shot things, they like turned things into blood and skeletons. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna fire up, but yeah, I definitely remember. I don't know if I ever played it, but I remember it was like talking to things of legend, like, oh, I know a kid at school, another kid who may have played it, or he played it at his cousin's house, because like no one had a TurboGrafx 13, but we all knew about Splatterhouse. These are new releases? Pool Party Massacre? I don't know. There's some of these I've never heard of. Oh, they have Hocus Pocus. Oh man, I want to see Shark Hotel. That sounds terrifying. What's Violence Movie? Assault with a Mummified Weapon? I'm starting to think these may not be real movies. And it looks like the videos on this wall are artistic interpretations of VHS covers. They're actually for sale. You know, look at that Jawbreaker with the actual mouth on it. Scream made of VHS parts. Huh. For this nook here, we have the Crypt Keeper. Oh, man, I watch. This is another thing I watched as a little bit of an older child, was these Tales from the Crypt. I loved them, and I'm so bummed that I can't get them now. I can't watch them. Like the number one thing I wish I could watch that I couldn't. And look at this. Next to it, we have the My Pet Monster. Now, this is not the original My Pet Monster. I have the original. Jen had it as a child, and then Jen got me a vintage one for a Christmas present. This is actually the football variant. He was a different design, and I think he wore like football gear, but he's still a My Pet Monster, so I still greatly appreciate it. You'd see these cutouts here in video stores. These would really scare. I remember there was one of Child's Play of Chucky, this cardboard standing cutout that literally I saw it and I'm like, that has to be the scariest movie ever. I don't even want to think about that. But this is Leatherface here. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, which may be my favorite of all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Adam really contributed to my deep love of that movie. Another Crypt Keeper head on the counter here. What game is it? Oh, another appropriate video game. This is Ghosts and Ghouls. Oh, okay, that's why they don't work. They need quarters. Duh. I don't think I have any quarters. Dang, I try to carry around quarters for the pressed pennies, but I'm caught with no quarters today. This is one of the hardest NES games of all time. Oh, there's Belial, the monster from Basket Case. I've never seen this movie, but I've seen the first one. Oh my gosh. So wow, a really cool vintage horror video store here, bringing back all sorts of complicated memories. So I finally got a chance to see the Slashback video installation. Like I said, it's been up several times. The Mystic Museum, which I think is in Burbank, has run the exhibit several times. Now it's over here at Slasher World. I don't know if Slasher World is. I don't know the connection. It might be connected to Mystic Museum in some way, or maybe not. Maybe just the private VHS collection, moves around to different areas. But it's great to catch it here. Yeah, Slasher World, a lot of fun. They have the slasher villain photo ops. You can walk in and get those for free if you want. Buy a little merchandise, and then you can pay the $13 to go to the back and see the vintage 80s horror movie store. And like I said, brings back a lot of memories, a lot of complicated memories. You know, very scared child, and the movie scared me. Being exposed to them, it really scared me. But as an adult, I've actually become kind of a horror movie fan, which is strange. And like I said, Adam loved horror movies, and talking to him about movies, because he knows so much more about movies than me, and he loved all kind of movies. And that's one of the reasons he knew about movies. He actually worked in a video store, and he would. So if you worked there, you could take the movies home at night, and you wouldn't have to pay for them. You just had to bring them back before they opened the next day. So, he'd clock out, take some movies home, watch movies, and then bring them back the next day. And he just loved movies, and that's always what it was. Like hanging out at his house, he'd always just like throw on a movie. I think he complained about not complain, but like you recognize, like, I had a short attention span, and I had a hard time sitting through movies. I think the most angry he ever was at me, and I've been angry, is when I kept playing on my phone while we were watching Wrath of Khan, and he just, like, I was having a hard time staying interested, and I was playing on my phone, and suddenly he clicks the TV off, and he's like, all right, I'm going to bed. And then I later found out that, like, he was not enraged, like, he was frustrated that I was not watching the actual movie. I think he didn't understand, like, why would you that he never did that. He watched movies intently. I talked to him about movies, like, so you watched Back to the Future like thousands of times? He's like, yeah. I'm like, is that not hard? Like, is it hard, like, not keeping your attention? I remember him saying, you just got to pay attention to different parts of the movie. So you watch a movie again, you look in the background, see something. What's that? What's that thing? I never noticed that bucket sitting on the table there. Just whatever. Just like, he would just pick out little things. He would, just had this have mind for that. And he would talk to me about movies, recommend movies. As I started actually watching movies and horror movies and things like that, I would have talked about it. I remember telling him, oh man, I watched I watched Alien, and it was great. He's like, oh man, Alien 2 is even better. You got to check that one out. Or when I watched the Rocky movies, and I was like, oh man, Rocky 5 was really bad. And he's like, oh yeah, it's not the best, but he's like, I really like it because Sylvester Stallone's son is in it, and his son passed away young, so he had really just like an appreciation for movies. Like, I feel like he could just sit and watch anything. Some types of movies he didn't like, but he just had such a broad taste in movies, and he would just like getting ready in the morning, he just put on a movie, watch part of it while he's drinking his coffee, getting his shoes on. So yeah, definitely had a love for film, and and I try, like I said, I have attention issues, so sometimes sitting and watching a whole movie is imposing for me, but yeah, he was better at just sitting back and enjoying life a little more than I am, so maybe I'll watch a movie tonight in his honor. And then the little Brea tar pits. Oh yeah, this is kind of nostalgic. This, I guess, now, like, on this channel, I've been around over 10 years, so now, like, going back, like, to early videos is nostalgic. We're talking about 10 years difference, so yeah, so like you can see what changed in 10 years, and just a cool little classic Los Angeles attraction. So thank you guys. I think I'm done for today. I think I was gonna meet up with a friend here in a little bit and just relax a little bit for the rest of the evening, because we gotta get up early tomorrow because I actually headed back to Florida. The reason I'm going back to Florida is because I want to do Swamp Fest. It's a extremely chaotic and dangerous event they have every year in Florida. It's technically a BMX biking event, but Adam has gone there previously, and his videos blew my mind. So I think there's gonna be some other people there that I know, but traveling out there to enjoy Swamp Fest, and then we'll figure some other things out in Florida to do. And then we got 2 more plane trip different cities to stop in. I'm going to go into Texas and then go into St. Louis for Transworld after that. But so yeah, more adventures to come before I finally get home. Once I get home, start getting ready to go to Europe, which is crazy. But thank you so much for watching these videos. They're as long as movies, but they're still not movies. Maybe they are movies. Thank you for watching these videos. If you like the channel, you know what? I was gonna say, if you like the channel, consider subscribing, but I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm not gonna ask for subscriptions. I'm not gonna ask for likes. I don't need to beg you. I don't need to plead with you. If you want to watch the videos, watch the videos. If you don't, you don't have to. And I won't hold it against you. Watch the videos if you want. If you want to support the channel in any way, consider Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month from me to you. We also have a souvenir shop with enamel pins, press pennies, motel key fobs, other fun stuff. And we have Cameo, doing personalized messages on Cameo. If you're interested in getting a personalized message from me, you can check that out. All those things are down below, and all those things help to keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this dirigible in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.